Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of My Bucket List Day. So today I'm here with my buddy Tony, who you met before in a previous video when we pulled cars out of a barn. In fact, we got a surprise for you at the end of this video about one of those cars.
We got it running.
We did. Yeah. And the third subject of this video is going to be the Ford F-150
Powerboost. This is 2022 Ford F-150 Powerboost. And what motivated me to buy this vehicle, other than the fact that it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid, and has the towing power of a diesel, is it has a 3,200 watt generator on board that allows us to power our travel trailer completely. It's a 30 amp travel trailer. It'll run the air conditioner, runs the refrigerator, everything you need.
Yeah.
And it's quiet.
So it's a truck that runs on gas, but also has lithium batteries on board, but also has a generator on board, so as you're running down the road, it'll recharge itself.
Yep.
So today what we're going to talk about is some modifications and upgrades we're going to be doing to not only have the truck run the RV, but also another secondary generator as well as shore power, and how we split that up. So it makes it more convenient for Tony and his wife Candace as they're traveling not only down the road, but also at a campground or boondocking. But we're going to get into all of that after we watch the short intro. So let's roll that intro. All right, we're back. So Tony, tell us, why did you decide to get this truck?
So what motivated me to buy this truck is it has an onboard generator on it. It has a 3,200 watt, 30 amp generator. And it will allow me to power the entire travel trailer we have. Air conditioning, refrigerator, everything we need, TVs. And it's worked very well. This will be our second cross-country trip in with this rig configuration.
Yeah.
And you know, on that first trip, there's some things that I have learned that would make it a little bit more user-friendly.
Okay.
A couple of the things is that right now the Pro Power, in order to plug in the RV, you have to drop the tailgate and plug it in inside the tailgate. And that's a little cumbersome. Plus, I'm using the shore power wire right now to plug it into the rig, so I can't power the RV while we're in traveling.
Right.
So, you know, we pull off the side of the road at a rest area, want to get a bite to eat, I've got to drop the tailgate, pull the wire out, hook up shore power. So this modification, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to mount a plug in the bumper, so that when I hook up to the travel trailer and plug in the lights and hook everything up, I'm going to plug the trailer right in.
Okay.
And
so what we're going to do, and you guys are going to see some video I'm going to add in here, we're going to take the plug that you see in the bed of the truck here, and we're going to tap into that basically and run another one and have it come out the bumper.
Correct.
So it's easy to plug it right into the trailer as you're under tow.
Correct. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run a wire directly to a central location in the trailer and connect a selector switch. And then we're also going to run a wire from that selector switch to the generator that we put on last year, which was another upgrade we did, so that we could use the selector switch to choose from F-150 generator or shore power. And the only time that I'll have to pull out a wire to plug anything in is when I'm on shore power.
When you actually go to a campground and you have shore power.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, you know, we're going to leave here hooked up. The rig's going to be plugged into the bumper. Selector switch will be on F-150.
Yep. And
we'll be air conditioning the rig like a Class A, you know, and it'll be ready to go every time we stop.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and I don't have to, the only time I'll disconnect is, you know, when we need to use the truck.
Right. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to make some modification that I think all of you would want to do eventually if you get a truck like this. And that is to keep your refrigerator and AC going, so when you get to an area to stop, You don't have to start everything up, unplug, plug everything in, and cool down your rig. Your rig's already going to be cooled down and ready to go and very comfortable.
Not only that, but we won't be running the refrigerator off of propane, and we all know that the refrigerator runs a little more efficiently when it's off of 110.
Right.
And we're not burning propane.
Correct. Big benefit there.
Big benefit. I mean, we're already going down the road. I've not noticed any difference in gas mileage.
Oh, when you have the generator running?
Well, when I have the generation running and when it's not running.
Right, because it's also charging at the same time. So
absolutely.
It's really insignificant.
It's a pretty ingenious design.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically an inverter generator.
Right, rolling down the road.
Rolling down the road, right. And one of the neat things about it when you're boondocking and you have it connected is the truck doesn't run the whole time. The truck will turn itself off and it'll invert power to run the AC and everything in your camper. And it also monitors the voltage, so once it drops down, the truck will start itself.
Right.
It'll run for a few minutes and then turn itself off again. And the nice thing about it is the truck's very quiet. So unlike, you know, running generators that are noisy and annoying and having to turn them off because, you know, you're in an area where there's quiet time after 10 p.m.
Yep.
You can't hear the truck.
And I will tell you, and we're going to demonstrate that here a little bit, when this truck is running, you can barely hear it. So it's far more quiet than any generator system that's out there.
Much quieter, and it doesn't do a fast idle when it's running. It's a very low idle.
Yep.
So
we're going to jump right into this. These are great upgrades, and Tony invited me over to help him out a little bit and film this.
I roped you into it.
You roped me into it. He knows I got a little bit of skill or experience in electricity, and he appreciates that. Although he's pretty skilled in all this stuff too.
Yeah, well, it's your fault if things go wrong.
And you'll have proof of it on camera.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into that. We're going to kind of show you as we go on the install. We're not going to show you every detail because it's kind of basic common sense stuff. But we'll show you the highlights of things. And if we screw something up, we'll definitely record that.
Yeah. Or if we say something stupid.
Well, we do that all the time. We'll get bored with that. All right, guys, let's dive right into it.
Okay, so what I got here is a 30 amp twist lock plug, and we're going to go ahead and mount it right here in the bumper. And then we're going to run a wire from the bumper to where the Pro Power is. And the Pro Power is right over here. Here's the 30 amp plug right there. And I'm going to already took it out here. So there's plenty of room to chase the wire up through here. We're going to go ahead and put a little hole in the box and then bring the wire here and tap the back of the switch.
Perfect.
And, you know, this way that we'll be able to have power on the outside of the rig when everything's closed up. It'll be watertight, and we'll be able to provide power while we're underway.
All right, and then on the hitch here, the cord's actually going to be attached.
Right. So we'll have, you know, our cord that we plug in for, you know, our brakes. It'll go into the bumper on this side. Actually, it goes right here.
Right.
And then we'll have this one that'll plug in to provide power to the rig. And then later we'll show you the selector switch that will turn on to run the generator on the F-150.
All right.
So this travel trailer is a 2019 Lance 2375. Like most travel trailers, it doesn't come with a generator. So last year what we did was we extended the bumper, put this Predator generator on it, put this tongue box, and an extra 5-gallon jug here to have extra gasoline. So right now the way the rig's set up, in order for me to use the generator, I would have to take the shore power line, bring it over here and plug it in. So this is one of the motivating factors to put in the selector switch is we're going to run a wire straight from here through the frame, and we're going to run it to a selector switch we're going to show you on the inside. And that will allow us, when we need to run the generator, when we don't have it plugged into the truck or on shore power, to not have to run the wire, making it a little bit easier when we're traveling.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So here's where our shore power is right now. And what we're going to do is pull this switch out, and this particular camper has a nice big open cavity in here where all the wires are coming up, and we're going to bring the wire from the generator up underneath the camper, and the wire from the F-150 under the camper, we're going to bring it up into here, and then it's going to tie into a selector switch that we're going to mount on the inside, and that'll allow us to switch it from F-150, shore power, or generator.
Right, so let's go inside and show them where we're mounting that and that switch.
Okay, so this is the open area, the cavity that where all the wires are right now that we're going to run through. So what we did was we went ahead and pulled out the stereo here, and there's an area back here that's open that we could snake all the wires we need up to the selector switch that we're going to mount here. And this will allow us to switch it from F-150 shore power generator.
Or completely off.
Or completely off, correct.
Right, okay. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. Pretty simple. We did find also an access point down here where we see the wire.
Yep, and earlier before Jeff got here, I went ahead underneath the rig and I drilled a pilot hole right here just to see that we could get up in here from the channel on the chassis where we're going to run the wire and pull it straight up here and up in here.
Yep, and then go all the way up to where that's going to be right there. So let's go ahead and get started. I will film part of this as we're moving along, and if we run into any roadblocks, we'll turn the camera back on and get recording. And if we catch the thing on fire, you'll see that too, but we'll be running away. So we're drilling in the bumper, and as luck would have it, the first drill bit broke, snapped. There we go, now we're getting straight. Like that, you mean?
Yeah, I knew that was happening eventually.
Almost. Got it.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look, it's got plenty of room in there.
Yep. So now we got a hole.
That's what we're gonna do.
That'll fit right there.
Yep.
But we got to tape that off now and paint it. Yep, hold on. Don't drill. Okay, this is, as you can see, where we drilled through the floor to bring the cables from the F-150 as well as the generator up through the RV and into this area we showed you earlier. So he's drilling the second hole here. And here's how it looks from the bottom. So you can see all of the cables going up. Okay, we've wired the cable into here, coming through here, and down into the 30 amp box in the back of it. See 30 amp right there. So now we're going to mount this back up, and then we'll mount the other end into the plug. And the rest of the project is done. So we'll show it all to you when we're all done. All right, guys, we're all done. You see the selector switch is in. Right now we're on shore power, but if the generator, or the top one here, generator 1, is the truck. In fact, Tony's going to go turn that on. You're going to see that's going to go on. So when he starts that truck, you're going to see that LED light up. There we go. So all I have to do is switch over. Boom, and now we're running on the truck. And the bottom one generator, if that was running, that LED would be lit up as well. So we're all good to go. You've got 3 different sources of power now. Now let's go look at the truck. Okay, as you see, we have the plug in. And by the way, the truck is running. What you're hearing is the AC running, but you can't hear the truck at all. So this is incredibly quiet. But we're not hooked up with the cords long enough, so you can still plug in without being connected. So this turned out great. Okay guys, you saw we got it all wrapped up. Tony, you pretty happy with the job?
I'm really happy with it. I mean, I'm super excited.
It works great. And by the way, as you can hear, the truck is running. This is the generator going. Well, it's the engine going.
It's the engine going at a low idle.
Right.
Because the battery's drained down, so it had to fire up. And it'll run for a couple of minutes and then turn itself on.
Right.
But right now it's plugged in, generator, I mean, the AC is running.
Yeah,
we're good to go.
Great.
Yeah.
Tell everybody again about this truck. What model is it?
It's a 2022 F-150 Powerboost.
Yep.
It's a hybrid, electric and gas. Being that it's a hybrid and it has the electric motor to help give it torque, it has the same torque as a diesel.
Yeah.
So I mean, driving all through the mountains out west,
Pulls the trailer, no problem.
no problem. No problem.
Right.
There are any problems with it. Nice truck. A little quirky with the electronics, but as far as the generator and the towing, it
Works great. All right, guys. So that wraps up this project. But before you go, I told you we had a surprise. And do you remember when we pulled those cars out of the barn? Well, we got one, I don't want to say completely restored, but we got one running, all cleaned up, new brakes, a couple new mechanical things, drained all the fluids, changed all that.
Yeah, put new fuel pumps in it with the gas tank, spark plugs.
Yeah, everything.
Matter of fact, I didn't tell you. I brought it down to the AC guy to put a charge on the air conditioner. Took a charge and it works.
Oh, great.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, this car sat for 20 years.
Yeah.
And, all the brake calipers, the clutch, everything seized up on it, but we rebuilt everything.
Yeah, we did. Everything's done.
And it's running it for the first like a kitten.
Even a new interior, new seats and everything.
Yeah,
So,
that's the only thing I did with the interior. Everything we just cleaned the interior
it up.
other than just had the seats reupholstered.
and the body, you'll see here in a moment, that turned out fantastic with just a little detail job.
Yep, yep.
So while it's not 100%
It wasn't really
perfect,
a restoration as much
No.
as it was just kind of like repairing it so that it can be driven again.
have you decided to sell it yet, or you're not sure yet?
Nah, I think I could sell it. Maybe. I'm not sure.
For the right buyer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when you guys...
when I showed it to my wife, she said that she thought it was cute and that maybe we should keep it.
Yeah. But if you guys are interested in this car, he might be talked into selling the thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, this one project's over.
that's right. We got to do the other car now. So reach out to me if you're interested in this car, and I'll see if we can talk him into selling it
I'll
to
go
you.
back it out of the garage and show it to you guys.
Okay, you back it out. I'll fit two cars in one parking spot. And there she is. All nice and clean. New tires, new brakes.
Take a look at the seats. Seats came out beautiful.
The seats look lovely. Man, fantastic.
Dashboard cleaned up. The rear window on it's add on it,
Yes.
and the top is only $375, so it doesn't really pay to fix the windows. It just makes sense to put a whole new top
Yeah.
on it.
So maybe that's the next project we do on it if you don't sell it.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's really a beautiful car. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Very clean. Look how much it's shined up compared to what you guys saw when we pulled it out of the barn.
Yeah, it looks like we pulled it out from underneath the bottom of the Raider.
Right? So a good barn find. So this is a surprise for today.
1993 Alfa Romero Veloci. It was manufactured in Milan, Italy. We popped the trunk.
Yeah, we'll see the trunk. We pulled all this out. We pulled the fuel tank out, drained that out, cleaned it out, put a new fuel pump in the tank. And basically,
That came in handy.
yes, we did buy this because we were stuck on a few things. So we needed to get that. All right, guys, this is it. She's all done and ready to go. Yeah, it is a tiny car. All right, guys, we're going for a ride. All the gauges work. Everything works great.
Everything works.
Now, as you can imagine,
It's even got power windows.
I'm a bigger boy, but I was able to get in here, but I'll admit, it's tight.
Yeah. I'll videotape you get down.
As you can see, my feet are down in there. cramped. But I'm in. All right, so the car was awesome looking, wasn't it? Turned out fantastic. We put, well, he more than I, of course, but every time I came into town, we were crawling around that car, getting it all working well and fixed up. So thanks you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that little like, subscribe, and ring that little bell to remind you I'm putting out another video. And thanks for tuning in, and make it a great bucket list day.